You are not in control. Every scroll, every like, every notification, someone else is pulling the strings. That every time you reach for your phone, check a notification, or binge watch just one more episode, it's not your choice. You think you're doing what you want, but in reality, something deep inside your brain is pulling the strings. And the worst part, it's not designed to make you happy, it's designed to make you a slave. In 1989, two neuroscientists, Terry Robinson and Kent Berridge, conducted an experiment that shattered everything we thought we knew about dopamine. At the time, scientists believed dopamine was the pleasure chemical responsible for happiness and joy. But Robinson and Berridge wanted to test this theory. So they took a group of rats and blocked dopamine activity in their brains, and something strange happened. Even though the rats still enjoyed the food, they showed pleasure-related facial expressions. They no longer sought it out. Then the scientists did the opposite. They increased dopamine levels, and suddenly the rats became obsessed with getting food. They weren't hungrier, they weren't even enjoying it more, but they just couldn't stop chasing it, pressing levers over and over again, even when they were full. That's when the truth became clear. Dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about craving. And in the wrong hands, it becomes the most dangerous manipulation tool in the world. How this is used against you. Tech companies, social media platforms, and advertisers use this exact mechanism to hijack your brain. Every time you get a notification, a like, or a short dopamine hit, your brain lights up. Not because you enjoy it, but because you want more. It's why you open your phone to check the time and end up scrolling for an hour. You plan to watch one episode, but suddenly it's 3 a.m. You can't stop checking your messages even though you're not expecting anything important. Because the system isn't giving you pleasure, it's creating an endless craving. And the worst part, you think you're in control. The real way to escape. A first step is understanding how to break the loop. Dopamine works in cycles. Every craving feeds into the next, and before you know it, you're caught in an endless loop. But the trick to breaking free, disrupt the cycle before it completes. Think of it like this. Imagine you're on a train that only goes in circles. Every time you indulge in a quick dopamine hit, scrolling, binge-watching, checking notifications, you're fueling the engine. But what happens if you pull the brakes before the train makes another round? It slows down, and if you keep stopping it, eventually, the loop breaks. Next time you feel the pull, the urge to check your phone, open another tab, or binge another episode, pause. Instead of giving in, stand up, stretch, walk to another room, do anything physical. It might seem small, but that simple act interrupts the loop and weakens the craving. Dr. Anna Lemke, a psychiatrist specializing in addiction, describes it like this. The moment you resist an impulse, your brain experiences discomfort. But if you push through, it resets and suddenly you're back in control. Think of when you first start exercising after being inactive. At first, it's painful, your body resists, your mind begs you to stop. But if you push through that discomfort, something happens, you adapt. Suddenly, your body no longer fights against you. Your mind no longer dreads the effort. You've reset. And that's exactly what they don't want you to realize. Because the truth is, dopamine itself isn't the enemy. The real problem is how it's being manipulated. How they keep you hooked. Think about it. Why does social media feel irresistible? Why do notifications always pull you back? It's because they've engineered the system to deliver dopamine in short, unpredictable bursts, the same way a slot machine keeps gamblers hooked. Casinos figured this out decades ago. Slot machines don't give rewards at predictable intervals. They space them out, making your brain crave the next maybe. Now social media does the exact same thing. You check your phone, sometimes there's a notification, sometimes there isn't. That uncertainty triggers dopamine release, keeping you hooked in a cycle you don't even realize you're in. How to take back control. But here, where you flip the game. Instead of letting dopamine dictate your actions, you set the terms. Delay the urge. Next time you feel that itch to check your phone, wait 5 minutes, just 5. That small delay weakens the craving over time. It's like retraining a muscle to function differently. Silence unnecessary notifications. If you're constantly pulled in different directions, you're not in control, your dopamine is. Trade shallow highs for real fulfillment. The reason mindless scrolling feels empty is because it is. Compare that to the deep satisfaction of finishing a book, creating something meaningful, or having a great conversation.